All right, so it looks like Mark Carney's favorability as preferred prime minister is slipping pretty quickly. So this is before the election. Let's see who did this poll. I can't remember, but it doesn't say the source. But I do remember seeing numbers like this where Mark Carney was at 50%, and Pierre was at 33%, and it was hard to believe, but Mark Carney won. So I mean, he was the preferred prime minister among some of these silly Canadians, but that's what we're in right now. But 50% just 2 weeks ago is a pretty strong mandate. Hell, I'm surprised they didn't get a majority with that number. However, look what's happened since. If I just go down here a little bit, Polling Canada released something yesterday. Preferred Prime Minister polling. Carney now at 47. Poilievre at 41. Singh at 3. Blanchet at 3. May 2. Bernier 1. So Pierre, who is at 33%, is now at 41% just 2 weeks after the election. Now, Carney's only down 3%, to be fair, but it's only been 2 weeks. You say, well, what could have happened in those 2 weeks that would cause such a thing? Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but he's already taken out, $73 billion to our debt for the good of the country, and then CBC gets like over 100 million of it. Or maybe even more than that. It was a big number. That's interesting, right? Now, this is from Nanos. And Nanos is somewhat accurate, but he does overshoot the Liberals by a little bit, usually. So 47%, when he was at 52 weeks ago, that's not a good trajectory. And for Pierre Poilievre, he shot up 8 points. Are some people having buyer's remorse? Kind of like a lot of us said. I think I've had a lot of conversations with some of you guys in the comment section where you guys agreed with me that people are going to start having buyer's remorse pretty quickly, and it looks like it's starting to happen. So it's very interesting. Right? So when we go back here and we have a look, because he's Singh, although, and it's funny that Singh is still in the Polling Canada poll considering he resigned, but that being said, they only have an interim leader right now, so I guess they just put that as the default option, I guess. But they were at 3.2. Unsure was at 2.8. So that's interesting. Right, so when you have 9% of the people now at unsure, when it was just over 2 or just under 3 points only a couple weeks ago, boy. Some people are now saying, yeah, I was sure. That's at like 7% of people or 6% of people they're having second thoughts. They're not sure anymore. After 2 lousy weeks. How'd that meeting with Trump go? Remember where he was supposed to put his elbows up and fight back and push back against Trump? He went there and glazed over Trump, saying he was a transformational president or whatever he said, and that he's leading the economy for the American people, and then he acknowledged that the border and fentanyl issues were major issues, which he didn't. He actually said the opposite during his campaign. And I remember all these liberals on other social media platforms, see, the fentanyl numbers are very big. And now all of a sudden, Carney shows up at the White House, and boom, now he agrees with them. Sitting together, laughing together, taking pictures with each other, thumbs up, big smile on his face. Looked at the ground while Trump blatantly insulted Chrystia Freeland. And again, Chrystia Freeland is very close friends with Mark Carney, and Mark Carney is the godfather to one of her children. And he didn't even stand up for her. So maybe Canadians are realizing, hey, maybe this guy's not going to stand up for us after all. And now we're hearing rumors Canada Post is going to go on strike again, although that's not tariff related. That happened back in November, so that was before the tariffs, I do think. With that being said, Doug Ford has blamed tariffs on GM having layoffs. They said they're going to have more layoffs coming. There's other people who are losing parts of their company, sectors of their company, because they're moving to the United States because it's going to be cheaper there. The job market is going to be a mess. I put out a video the other day of someone, I think Carolyn Rogers is her name. She's one of the executives over at the Bank of Canada. And she put out a pretty strong warning for what we're about to see, like a major recession. maybe even a depression. I hope not. But boy, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of people who voted for Mark Carney who are going to be very, very unhappy within 6 months from now. In fact, there's already a few people who are unhappy just 2 weeks into after the election. Guy's 2 weeks into his official term. I know he's been prime minister technically for a few months, but he's done nothing. And I know it takes time to fix things and to turn things around. But what's he going to turn around? How much longer do you think it is before they bring back the carbon tax? They're going to slowly bring everything back. It's going to be worse because there'll be no rebate. It's going to be just like Justin, except much worse. And then those people are going to be very upset. And then what do the Liberals have? Who are they going to switch out as leader next time? They're not going to be able to do it. They don't have anyone else who's popular. Not even close. So I don't know. It's almost like the Liberals want people to revolt at this point. It's just like, and again, I'm not saying revolt in a violent way. I'm peaceful, right? There is a peaceful option here. That's what I want. But it really seems to me like if this continues and if Mark Carney does what we all think he's going to do, what we all know he's going to do, there's going to be a lot of Canadians crying about it, and we're going to rightfully be able to say, told you so. You can make a mistake and vote for the wrong person once or twice, and if they win, they don't do the right thing. Fair enough. 4 times in a row? Give me a break. The excuses are done. The complaints are done. If I hear a Liberal complaining, I'm going to laugh. Because you voted for it, and there's consequences to these elections since they're so important. Now, hopefully, things don't get too bad. Because someone else, Pierre Poilievre, is going to have to come in here and fix this. And the bigger the mess, the longer it's going to take to clean up. So I really, really hope that it doesn't get too bad. But I hope Canadians start waking up. And then maybe we can have an election if the NDP grows a set of balls and doesn't prop up this government again. Which I don't think they will. Their focus is now, they don't even have official party status. So their job is to go through the grassroots. They don't have any money. They're going to have to put in a lot of work, knocking on doors, saying, hey, look, we're sorry about what happened. Singh wasn't the right guy, yada, yada, yada. Give up a speech and get people back on their side. And by the way, the more this goes on, where Mark Carney takes out another $73 billion or looks weak in front of Trump again or whatever else happens, that preferred prime minister is going to go from 50 to 47 to even lower. And it's going to happen quick. And the NDP can literally use that and say, look, Mark Carney's a liar, never trust a Liberal, come on our side. I think a lot of people will come back. And as soon as the NDP sees that they have a spike in the polls, like say in August or September, October, something like that, if they're back around that 15%, I don't know if they'll be 15% at that point. It might take a little bit longer because they don't have any resources, as I said, other than their feet. That's the only thing they can use. They got to walk around their neighborhoods and flip back some close districts. But if they can do that sometime in the next year and they're at 15%, maybe even higher, maybe they will side with the Conservatives and the Bloc to see if we can get an election. Again, I don't think it's going to happen for at least a year and a half, 2 years. But hey, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. And if I'm wrong and we have an election sooner than that, I'd be very happy. Just like I think most of you. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think that that Mark Carney's going to be able to climb back and build his reputation? I'm sorry, I could hardly say that with a straight face. Or do you think his number is going to keep falling? Please don't be shy. I really enjoy engaging with you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.